Stop 11, Rooftop. Welcome to the continuation of the Samuel Bach exhibition, Icon of Loss. This first painting that we will visit is entitled Rooftop. Here the artist imposes the figure of a little boy, cut out of wood, holding a violin and bow, placed atop a collection of the detritus of war and destruction. The rooftop floats off into the water, but the symbol of the smoking chimney to the left of the painting creates the setting of the Holocaust and the destruction of young people. Stop 12, Burning. The artist portrays the little boy with hands raised, entrapped in a collection of string, rope, and branches. Frightfully, the upper branches are already aflame. The future of the little boy is that of death and destruction. The setting is again one of great splendor and beauty, as we look off into the distance, wondering how, why, and in what way we can prevent this from happening again. Stop 13, Targeted. Here the artist portrays the little boy both as a human being in the far background and in the foreground as a silhouetted sculpture placed on, top of, and as part of and behind the dividing wall. Above, the arch creates a sense of holiness and of place, as if the little boys are presented and offered up on an altar. In the foreground, the target, already bullet-ridden, represents the targeting of all children. And in the very, very near foreground on the left, we see the empty shoes, again symbolizing the absence and not the presence of the little boy. Stop 14, Signal of Identity. The little boy with hands raised faces the six-pointed star, both embedded in the wall and also gathering the figure of the little boy into the triangle of the star. Identity as a Jew was forced upon the Jews by the wearing of the yellow star. The little boy is somehow blended in with that and becomes part of the degradation of the entire experience for the Jewish people in the midst of the Holocaust. Stop 15, High Wind. Many of the paintings in the Icon of Loss series are that of a static sculpture. This painting, however, has a sense of movement created by the wind moving across the sea. The upper area becomes the covering of a sukkah, an arbor, and it too is covered not only by the branches and leaves, but also by the stripes of the prayer shawl, the talit, as well as the prisoner's garment. Below, the boy is somehow enmeshed in an artist's easel, and then hanging from the branches above are the red socks, symbolizing the blood of the child. Stop 16, One Child's Island. The child alone on a single island, surrounded by the waves and ocean, reminds us of the isolation of the individuals in the midst of horror. The trees which create a cave encasing the little boy, all have been cut off. All the lives that supported and surrounded and nurtured the child have been destroyed, and the child, in fact, is alone. Stop 17, Cumulative Data. The artist accumulates a number of the little boys in different materials and different presentations. As the figures of the boy continue to accumulate, so do the numbers of those who were murdered. At the end of the war, nearly 1.5 million children were destroyed. Most of the figures that are X'd out or crossed out, their hands are raised in different positions of surrender, of fear, and of resignation. The data is self-evident. We need to make a difference in the lives of all children to prevent such trauma from continuing to occur. Stop 18, Gal Eid. The title of this painting is in Hebrew and refers to a monument of testimony or of witness. It enables us to visualize the images that Bach has created using the little boy in the context of a memorial, but this memorial is made up of children's toys and blocks. Inscribed on some of the blocks are the little boy's face and or his hands, as well as Hebrew letters. Two of the letters in the very center of the painting create the word Aish, which is the Hebrew word for fire. As you look at the construction, you are able to see the deconstruction of the Jewish star, of Jacob's dream and of his ladder, and of the chimney. These are all images that Bach uses to remind us that his work continues to tell the story of the little boy and the consequences of human bestiality. Stop 19, the cup was full. The little boy appears through an opening in the wall, which is the same shape as the little boy's head. The hands of the little boy, shown with the stigmata, are carved out of stone, and the opening leads us to a table or an altar with an offering of empty shoes, the little boy's hat, and a cup which has been tipped over, and a spoon. The handle of the cup is broken off and is in the form of a question mark. All of Bach's paintings in the Icon of Loss series raise questions. The spoon represents an instrument of survival, and in that one end of it is used for the capacity to get the last drop of soup, the other end can be used as an instrument to protect oneself. The cup was full, but certainly in the midst of all that we now know about the Holocaust, the cup is indeed empty. Stop 20, crossed out, Roman numeral 4. Bach again portrays the little boy with a huge X in front of him. This time the X is created by the remnants of an ancient pillar and an uprooted tree. Both history and the symbol of what was life represent the Xing out of each and every individual that was taken in the Holocaust and in the midst of the continuing trauma which occurs in the world in which we live. The background is a huge cruciform draped in white, symbolizing both the sadness of loss and the purity of hope that mankind's ability to make a difference in our present and future will endure.